Good morning, everyone. My name is Alex Gray with Payroll for Construction. I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time today to join us for today's webinar. Almost at 1 o'clock Eastern time here. We're going to wait a couple more minutes, see if we get some stragglers joining here, but the webinar here will begin shortly. And again, appreciate everyone's time. We'll get started here momentarily. All right, wonderful. So we'll go ahead and get started here today. Again, my name is Alex Gray, one of the regional sales managers here at Payroll for Construction. I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time out of their busy schedules to join us for today's webinar, the benefits of outsourcing your payroll. Go ahead into the next slide here to pull up my contact information here. Again, I'm going to pull this up again at the end of the demonstration, but if anyone has any questions or would ultimately like to see how our payroll service can help benefit your company, time saving you guys money when it comes to payroll, feel free to reach out to me here at any point in time, be able to answer any questions that anyone may have. Again, but moving on to the next slide here. So meet payrollforconstruction.com. So who are we? We are an online payroll service provider just for construction. We are currently processing payroll in all 50 states, have the ability to do so for those that are working in one state, working across multiple states. Payroll for Construction is processing payroll in all 50 states. Payroll for Construction, we are powered by Foundation Software with over 35 years of experience in the construction industry. And what makes Payroll for Construction different is we're only working with construction clients. We only process payroll for construction clients. So you're going to see familiar language in our system that you guys are used to seeing as construction workers. We're only dealing with that. We know what comes with construction payroll. We know what the difficulties can have when it comes to payroll, and our team only working with the construction industry is going to keep up to date there. And Payroll for Construction, again, we're going to be that full service payroll provider. So we're going to be able to pay your employees via check or direct deposit. Then we can also handle taxes, the filing of those taxes, and we automate reports like job costing, certified payroll, EEO, minority compliance. What does Payroll for Construction do? We handle construction-specific payroll items. Those that are working in multiple states, those that are working across multiple localities, my contractors that are in Kentucky, Ohio, those certain states that have those different tax specifications when you travel 5 minutes to another city, we're going to be able to handle those. We can set up those inside the system, have that automate as we are running payroll through the system. The database will actually keep track of all that tax information for you inside that database. No more doing it by hand. And with our team, with us being that full service payroll provider, we're going to be able to handle those tax filings and those payments for those localities or those working across multiple states. So we're going to stay up to date with what's going on in each individual state. So that's not something that you and your office are going to have to keep up to date with. Our team is going to keep up and be able to handle those working across multiple states or localities. Those that have things like prevailing wage, those that are working with unions, multiple unions, We're going to be able to automate those pay rates where we are able to set up tables behind the scenes where Payroll for Construction is going to be able to tell, hey, is this a private job? Are we going to need that private rate, or is this prevailing wage? Where we need to pull in that above scale pay rate, the system's going to be able to automate the pay rates for those that are working these prevailing wage jobs. Those that also have fringe calculations, our system's going to be able to automate those fringes. So we have that prevailing wage fringe, cash fringe, whether that's going to the employee or that's going off to some sort of benefit group. Going to be able to set up that fringe, have it automate through the system, have this automatically tracked for us. Then those that may have the prevailing wage, we need that fringe reduction factor. We're able to help save you money with that fringe inside the system. Those that say, hey, we're already giving this guy $7 an hour in benefits, but we need to give 14 here. We're able to reduce that fringe by $7 to help save money on that prevailing wage fringe. And the last item on the list here, that workers' compensation. We're going to be able to set up that workers' compensation policy inside your database. This can be even tracked by type of work performed, set up the different classes, and inside our system can also even set up caps where, hey, this amount in the week needs to be exposed to that workers' compensation policy. Going to be able to set that up and have that automatically tracked as you guys are running payroll through our system. With Payroll for Construction, once payroll's processed, then we're only working in the industry. We know how reporting is crucial to the construction industry here. So we're going to have construction specific reporting that's going to be automated. The system's going to create these reports for you automatically as we're running that payroll through the system. It's going to pull in that information for us. And that construction specific reporting is going to be things like certified payroll reports. Those that are working with unions going to have union reports that lay out all those deductions and fringes. What's going on with that union? What have we done payroll wise? Those union reports will be generated for us. Those that need things like EEO, minority compliance reporting, those will also be able to be automatically generated inside the database for you. And with these reports, we have a number of different formats for those working in multiple states, working in a specific state that requires a certain format. Our team's keeping up to date with those report layouts inside the database. We have multiple available inside for those to choose from. Then moving on here with the job, labor, and burden cost of reports. We know with construction payroll, we need clarity. We need to see what's going on to get that more accurate job costing, what these guys are actually costing us when running our payroll, and have job, labor, burden cost reports automatically generated inside the database. We're going to have a nice workers' compensation report that's going to be generated for you based on that policy that we had set up inside the system. Those that have a 401k provider, we're going to be able to set up that 401k policy, automatically have those 401k deductions be pulled out of the employee's paycheck. Then we'll have nice 401k reports that'll be generated for you to see where we stand against that policy. And then the last item here that have court-ordered garnishments like child support, tax, alimony, other garnishments. We're going to be able to set up and track those garnishments inside the database by default. Then those that would like, we do have the optional service where we are actually cutting the check and paying those garnishments for you. And we'll have nice reports that will be generated for you inside the system for you to see where these stand with those garnishments. This third slide here. What we actually do, again, we are going to be that traditional payroll provider. So we're going to be able to pay those employees via check or direct deposit. We're able to break out direct deposit information up to 3 bank accounts for these employees. With the handling of the taxes, we're going to be able to handle the weekly, the monthly, the quarterlies, the annualies. We're able to handle any federal, state, local authorities, FUTA, and SUTA. Then with those for the quarterly and annual returns, going to be able to file those and handle those as a part of our service. Then with year end here, we have W-2s and other year end services where with those W-2s, we're going to be able to file those for you. Then when it comes time to send out those W-2s, we can send to the office for you to distribute or to the actual individual employee addresses. The fourth slide here, what else makes us different? So Payroll for Construction, we have a direct integration with those that are working on QuickBooks and other accounting programs like Sage, Foundation. We know that, hey, you guys, even though you're running a payroll inside of our system, you still need to see all of that payroll information in your main accounting software in one place. We're going to be able to, even though you're processing the payroll inside of our system, push that information back into your QuickBooks, back into your Sage accounting system, so we can keep all of that data all of that information in one spot, even though you processed your payroll with us. And what else makes us different? Again, like I had mentioned, our only focus is construction. We have a staff of professionals that are experienced with construction payroll. They're all our staff in-house that are free, available use for those that are experiencing issues with their payroll for construction database, or you have a question about an employee there. We're going to have a staff of professionals that's only working with the construction industry, and it's our staff in-house that's trained on our system. What else makes this different here? The time card import feature. So you'll be able to manually enter your time into Payroll for Construction, but if you're collecting your time on an Excel sheet, or if you're using a separate mobile provider that you're able to pull a file out of, we can import that time into that database to help save you guys when it's actually come time to enter the time into the system. And what those that aren't using a mobile provider and are interested in getting the field guys onto the electronic time cards, we do offer our own mobile application for field time card entry. And Payroll for Construction going to have web-based access anytime from anywhere with the internet connection. Simply log in, be able to enter your hours, then go ahead, review those hours, submit your payroll to us for processing. And then the last item here, we do have an online stub portal for those employees to receive their pay stubs electronically. So if you're tired of those guys coming asking you for their information, asking you for their pay stub, we do offer an online portal where those employees can log in, see their current pay stubs, see their previous pay stubs, also run their own earnings and deductions reports, as well as a time card history report of what they've done, what's been processed for them for payroll. And how a payroll is processed with Payroll for Construction. Simply log in online, enter or import the time cards into your database. You'll be able to review your time card entries and all those payroll calculations, see what those guys are getting paid down to the penny before we ever touch that payroll for processing. Then simply submit payroll with a click of a button. Payroll for Construction handles the rest. Going to pay those employees via check or direct deposit. Then we'll handle those taxes for you. You'll get a full report breakdown of what we had handled for that week or bi-week's payroll run from our team to give you that complete clarity of what went on with that payroll run. Then what I'll do here is I'm going to go ahead and jump into the database here. So what you are seeing here is the home dashboard of Payroll for Construction. So within this database, within our system, we're going to become the system of record for those employees. So we're going to be able to get that employee information loaded into that database, those that we're going to be processing payroll for. With the employees here, we do have an import file. So when we're getting people set up inside their database, whether you have one employee, whether you have 1,000 employees, we're going to be able to import a large number of data at once. So we're not going through and manually entering employee information. Then again, with that workers' compensation policy, going to be able to set up that workers' comp. As we're processing that payroll, going to automatically track that policy for us, have a nice report of what's going on for that workers' compensation policy. But the big thing in this pay rates here is for those that have the prevailing wage work, those that are working with union work, we're going to be able to differentiate, hey, what are our union rates? What do we need to pay these guys per that union contract? Or for those that are working prevailing wage jobs, hey, we need to pay these guys above scale. The employee record's going to house their commercial, their private rate, but when we need to pay these guys above scale, able to set up these tables, have it automatically pull in the above scale pay rate that we need for these guys. So there's no going through anymore, manually making sure that each pay rate's tying out to what these trades these guys are working on for that day. As we actually put the time into the system, it's going to automate these pay rates for us and be able to pull in the above scale rate for us by default. Right, then going back to the main menu here, within the system then, with those that are using a list of cost codes, those that are saying, hey, what are these guys actually doing on the job? Going to be able to set that up inside the database. With the jobs, even though you have that separate accounting system, we still need some basic job information inside our database. Simply put in the job name, the number, the description, and then we'll be able to tie that back into your main accounting system here. And going in over to Payroll Daily here. All right, the system's been set up here. That is something that would be set up with our trainers here. Run a few number of test payrolls, make sure everything's tying out for you guys here. All right, it's time for us to then go through and actually start a live payroll run inside the database. Simply go into the enter time cards. Again, have the ability to manually enter or import time information here. I'll show an example time card import during the demonstration here today. So I simply click OK. When the screen opens, then I'm simply come up to the top. You're going to see a button that says import. Click import here. What the system's going to ask me to do is simply click browse, select that file that I want to import the time into my payroll for construction database. Click next, click finish. Bang, your time has been brought into the database, good to go from what we had uploaded into the system here. Now what you'll see is I'm going to have some blanks here where the system's going to do the legwork for me, where it's going to save time for us, and it's going to take away the manual calculations, making sure everything's correct for the payroll run. The system's going to do the legwork for us. So once I click OK, system's able to look and see what my jobs are, what we had set up inside the database. My job 12 up here, this is a private commercial job, so my guy's getting a base $15 an hour. But what it's set up, those with the prevailing wage work, it's being able to pull in the above scale rate for us. If we have guys that are working across multiple trades, working across multiple job sites in one day, the system's going to allow us to bring that information in, and we'll have no problem breaking out if those guys are working across multiple trades, receiving multiple pay rates, or working across multiple jobs in the same day. Going to have no problem here inside that database. And even though I imported time here, I'm still going to be able to come in and still manually enter time if I needed to inside my database here. Then once time has been entered into the database here, you're going to have a number of reports available to you to review that time before we ever touch it for processing. The big one I'll jump into here is the time card list proofing report. With our reports, going to be a number of ways that we can run the report here. So right now, my time card list proofing report showing me my employees at the top, all those jobs they worked across the week with my employee subtotals here at the bottom. But hey, you normally see your reports broken out. I want to see my job subtotals for the week. I don't care about my employee hours. I want to see my jobs. Simply go back to the criteria tab here, switch the format to say, hey, I want to see my job subtotals, click list. Then that same report for us is ran in a different way for us, and we didn't have to go through and have a coding degree to figure out how to run this report. Very simple for us to do on that criteria tab. Now gives us that same information in a different layout for us. Then with the reports inside Payroll for Construction, very easy to pull outside PDF, Word, Excel, CSV, number of formats that we can then save this report to the desktop if we needed to send this off somewhere. But then once those hours have been reviewed, then I have a number of registers available for you to run to see what's going on with that payroll run. Hey, here's my pre-check register. I want to see what my employees are getting paid down to the penny. They're receiving a check, a direct deposit. What went on for this guy's pay for this week? Going to have these reports that give you the full breakdown of the payroll run, again, before we ever process that payroll for you as our client. Then once payroll looks good to go, you simply come over here, click submit, payroll is sent off to us for processing. Once that payroll is processed, team's going to give you a full report breakdown of what the total amount of the checks and direct deposits, what was the total amount of the taxes, what did we have for that week's payroll run, give you that complete clarity for that payroll, and then we're good to go. Those employees are paid via check or direct deposit. Then we're handling the taxes for you. So we like to say essentially click submit, walk away, your payroll is going to be handled that week. But all right, payroll's been entered into the database. Time for us to run our reports to see what's going on here. The first one, going to have that workers' compensation report. Number of ways that this report could be ran. Hey, so I just want to see it by class, see a brief breakdown of what went on with that policy that we had set up. But hey, we're going through an audit. I need a more detailed breakdown of that workers' comp, what was actually going on here. Can even drill down, get more detail of what went on against that workers' compensation policy that we had set up. As we go through, have it all broken out by class for us and provide us nice subtotals at the bottom for what actually went on against that workers' compensation policy. Then those that need EEO minority compliance reporting, we have print versions as well as electronic versions for those that need to upload online for the EEO minority compliance reports. Then also going to have your basic employee reports, earnings and deductions, earnings details, what went on the employees' jobs here. The next one I'll jump into here is going to be those big certified payroll reports that those that need certified payroll reporting. Have over 40 different print formats that come set up by default inside the database for you. And again, our team is managing those certified reports for you. So if a format switching or if we need to add a new form, our team's staying up to date there for you. But quickly scroll through all of the print formats for you. But the big one, the generic one I'll jump into here is that U.S. Department of Labor, WH-347. After that payroll's been processed in the system, this report's going to be automatically generated for you. Create those certified reports for you. As you go through, it'll have it broken out by job. We'll even perform no work performs for us. So no more going through manually creating these certified reports. The system's going to do the legwork for us. And again, we have over 40 different formats for the print version. But if we have those that are using electronic upload online, hey, you're using like the California DIR, the LCP tracker, our system's going to be able to automatically create that XLM file that we're going to be uploading online to LCP tracker. Go in, put that date range for that certified report. Once I click report here, it's going to give you my information that looks like a little bit of a jumbled mess here, but the big thing that the system's doing is creating that file for us. So I click close. It's going to ask me if a file has been created. Click yes, create file now. I'll go online to the LCP tracker. Boom, you can upload your file. No more manually entering that data into the LCP tracker. Then those that have things like the unions, hey, we're tracking that union information inside the database. Can have a nice report that's generated for you of what went on for those union deductions and fringes. Click report here, going to show us those employees that we had working under that union for us. And as we go through, give us a nice summary of what the total deductions and fringes are, what's actually owed to the union per that union contract that we had set up. And this report for you, if those that need to see reports laid out in a certain way, we do have the ability to create custom reports inside Payroll for Construction, where if you're union, you need to see information laid out a specific format. That's something that we could work and build inside your database for you. Get Payroll for Construction more custom tailored to what you guys need as a client of ours. And the last big report that I'll jump into here is going to be our burden employees summary report. So we know with construction payroll, hey, I could be paying my guy Rick $15 an hour, but with all the burden involved, FICA, FUTA, SUTA, workers' comp, they're more so going to be costing us $18.50 an hour. This report, our system's going to automatically calculate, take all the burden that we had set up behind the scenes here, and give us our guys' average hourly rate down to the penny to give us that more accurate job costing when it comes to payroll. Again, we know with construction payroll, there's a lot of moving parts. These guys can quickly start costing us more money as we're working on jobs. We're going to be able to track that information, have reports that are tailored to the construction industry to give you that more detailed job costing down to the penny inside your database, what's going on with your weekly payroll runs. All right, but with that there, very high level overview of Payroll for Construction here. Again, this is something that we hold demonstrations of our system. We hold personal one-on-one demos. Those that have questions, those that want to see a custom tailored demo, feel free to reach out. We'll hop online with you. We hold quick 30-minute demonstrations over the Zoom platform where you would be able to see my screen, walk you through the system again, show you certain things, how they're set up inside Payroll for Construction, answer how we would help handle your payroll and your needs. But again, those that have any questions, those that are interested in Payroll for Construction, feel free to reach out here. But what I'll do now is I'll take the time here to open this up for any questions. Those that are sitting on the webinar here today, feel free to type your questions in the box. We'll get them answered for you here for the webinar here today. All right, looks like we got one coming in here. So with Payroll for Construction, even though you're handling my my checks and direct deposits, what happens if I need to cut a manual check outside the system inside the middle of a payroll run? That's a great question there. So even though we are handling the checks and direct deposits, the paying of the employees here, as a Payroll for Construction client, you're still going to have the ability to cut a manual check outside the database at any point in time. You'll be able to go in, simply cut the check, Once that check is cut outside the system, you'll have the ability to print the check in your office. Then once we process that next payroll run, our team would pick up the taxes, update that information onto the actual up inside your database there. Then we got another one here. Who imports time cards from our system, you or us? Great question here. So as our clients, you guys will still be responsible for importing the time into the actual Payroll for Construction database. We have someone available that would assist with getting the actual import file template layout set up for you. Then it would be simply someone from your team going in and actually selecting the file to import inside the database, then actually entering that time to us for processing. And then another one here, how long do we have to access your reports? As long as you want. Those reports can be ran for any point in time, and they can be ran at any point in time in the database as well. So any date range, whenever you want to run those reports, you will have full access to them at any point in time inside your database. Got another one here. Our office has 2 separate payrolls. The field is every week, and the office is every 2 weeks. For the office, every 2 weeks, they are reoccurring. Do you also pay those as well? Great question there, Carla, and yes, we do. We are able to handle office and field staff. For those that have, like your example, we have the weekly guys, but we have those on a bi-weekly and off cycle. We're able to handle all of those that are getting paid inside the system. We would just throw them onto the weekly payroll one with those field guys when it's time to actually pay those office staff. Then we do have the ability to set up reoccurring time cards inside the database when it comes time to pay those office staff. Make it a lot easier to pull the time into the database to ultimately get them paid. But short answer here, yes, we can handle office staff and field staff. What if someone gets left off our time cards, but we didn't realize it until after a payroll is ran? Great question there. Our team would be able to work with you to ensure that those employees can still get paid. We ever had an issue where something happened, hey, we left this employee off that payroll run, you'd be able to reach out to our team free of charge. Someone from our support staff would be able to assist, get you that separate check created for that employee, whether we're going to have you printed inside your office or whether we send that direct deposit off to that employee. Our team would be able to work with you to ensure that employee still gets paid. If someone gets left off, we do have the ability to still pay that employee, and our team would be able to provide assistance there. Another one here, we sometimes have reimbursements on payroll. Do you handle that too? Yes, we do handle reimbursements. Those that have a per diem, you have a mileage reimbursement, any type of reimbursement that's going to these employees, we do have the ability to pay that in reimbursement. We enter it onto the time card, have a separate earn code to then break out what we're actually paying these employees for, but we do have the ability to handle reimbursements to pay those employees. Great questions there. All right. Looks like we got all the questions handled here today. But what I'll do, I'll pull up my contact information here again. Those that are interested in holding a live, oh, we actually have one more here. We also have a vehicle allowance payroll once per month that we do as a separate payroll batch. Can you do that as well? Yes, with our payroll service, we would be able to handle that separate vehicle reimbursement or vehicle allowance there. We would be able to handle that on the service as well. Perfect. All right. So again, my contact information is up on the screen here. For those that have any questions or are interested in holding a live one-on-one demonstration of our payroll service, feel free to reach out. I have no problem holding a quick 30-minute demonstration for you, hopping online as many times as we need for you to feel comfortable with our service here. But again, want to thank everyone for taking the time out of their busy schedules to join us here today, and feel free to reach out anytime for those that are interested in learning more about payroll for construction. Thank you, everyone.